Now that I've hit over 100 subs, the fame has gotten in my head and I feel obligated to talk about other people's careers. Hi, I'm Joel, and I'm your favorite internet micro
celebrity.
YouTube was created in 2005 by 3 former PayPal employees, Steve Chen, Jawed Karim, and Chad Hurley. Jawed said his main inspiration for creating the site was that it was too hard to find clips online of Nipplegate, where Justin Timberland ripped off Janet Jackson's breast covering during the 2004 Super Bowl. Since then, it's grown into this tycoon of media, with 122 million people on average watching it every day and about 1 billion hours of content watched. And of course, with its 20th birthday having just passed, it has gone through a lot of phases and generations. The culture that YouTube had around the time that Smosh was gaining popularity is infinitely different than when Minecraft ruled the site, or David Dobrik, or more importantly, me. Because I'm here now. This is my house, you gotta follow my rules. Someone summarized the timeline pretty well, so I'm gonna do what I do best and steal all their hard work and use it for my benefit. These are the great eras of YouTube. During the time period of 2005 to 2009, a lot of monumental things happened that changed the world for better or worse. The George Lopez show ended. How I Met Your Mother started. The first iPhone came out. Michael Jackson was arrested for being a pedo maybe. The Cupid Shuffle started showing up in high schools around the country. And most importantly, me. I started kindergarten. At this point in time, the site was sort of starting to get its sea legs. Some key channels that I feel should be mentioned are Smosh, Ryan Higa, Ray William Johnson, and hit of the Nickelodeon original movie, Fred the Movie, Night of the Living Fred, Fred. Hey, it's Fred! During this time period, a lot of what would be considered the gems are based off of one-off viral videos. The formerly mentioned Smosh got popular off of a lip-singing video where they just sang the Pokemon theme song. Hell, the most viewed video on the site for a long time was just a guy dancing. But I feel like that's a good show of what it took to be quote unquote successful on this new platform. Leave Britney Alone, Star Wars Guy, Charlie Bit My Finger. They're all representative of going viral for the things that you love, like Britney Spears or Star Wars or biting people. I feel like that
Have you ever had a dream that you do so much you could do anything?
I didn't really articulate my point the best, but you kind of get the gist. YouTube was very free and open at this point. No one really went into it expecting a career. It was just something fun to upload to with your friends. This next section has 2 time eras that I kinda grouped together into one. So much of what happens in the beginning makes way for the second part, and it just doesn't feel right splitting them up. Some people would consider this to be the peak of YouTube. Gaming videos are now super big on the platform, and we start to see the rise of certain creators that grew to be immensely popular. I'd be doing a disservice to talk about this genre and not mention PewDiePie first. He uploaded his first video in October 2010 in the beginning of this era, and in August 2013 was when he started his 5-year and 7-month-long streak of being the most subscribed to channel on the platform. We also have Markiplier, who at the time was gaining subs at a rate that his peers just could not compete with. Crazy stat here, but there's a 14-month gap between his 1 million and 5 million subscriber special. And then he proceeded to double his subs to 10 million within 10 months time. A variety of games make their debut during this time, but the clear dominating one for content creation was Minecraft. Certain celebrities grow in popularity like Captain Sparkles, Sky Does Minecraft, and Lunchley's #1 hater, Dan TDM. Some gaming groups also start to form during this time, like Game Grumps, FaZe, and Team Crafted. Speaking of Team Crafted, content houses also start to grow in popularity. This is a way for creators to dedicate all of their time to content creation by surrounding themselves by fellow creators. The Creature Hub was one of the more notable gaming houses, and O2L was a lifestyle content creation house with certain names like JC Kalen, Connor Franta, and Ricky Dillon. With people now turning this website into a career, the fans desperately wanted a way to connect to the creators that they have spent hours upon hours watching. Lifestyle YouTubers provided this, with story times being a common format. Gen X Pen, Swoozy, and Leah Marie Johnson were some of the more notable creators that I watched personally during this time. Fine Bros also had a large part to play in the ecosystem of the platform. For many, getting invited to YouTubers React was a way to know that you finally made it on the platform. One of the key features introduced during this time period was the forced Google Plus integration. Now for all y'all youngins, Google Plus was Google's response to Facebook and their way of trying to join the social media party. However, it wasn't very good. Imagine needing a social media account to comment on a YouTube video. Now imagine not having to imagine it. That's basically what you could imagine it to be like. The forced integration of their outside entities put a lot of people off, and it severely throttled the growth that YouTube could have seen during this time. Now for me, someone who was like 12 at the time, I didn't care. Yeah, Sure, I'll give you my dad's email and credit card info and the 3 silly little numbers on the back and my zip code and my mother's maiden name and the street that I lived on in the 3rd grade and my first pet's name. It's no sweat off my back. Music was also a large part of what defined this era as well. We saw the rise of certain people like Epic Rap Battles of History, Dave Days. Fun fact, when I was 9, I didn't know what a man crush was, but my older stepbrother did. So when I have a man crush on Jack Bauer's song got stuck in my head and I would sing it around the house. Yeah, that one, I still hear about that one. Also, a little note here, anytime something interesting or funny happened in like early 2010, for some reason the internet wanted to make a remix out of it. Bed Intruder song and Double Rainbow were both made by a YouTube channel called Shmoyoho. And to this day, the Bed Intruder song has more views than the original news posting it was based off of. We also have the creation of the holiday Black Friday, made dedicated to Grammy Award winning artist Rebecca Black, who made the hit 2011 song Friday. And last but not least, we have the popularization of Vivo on YouTube. Now you didn't have to tune into MTV to watch a music video. You can go to youtube.com/JustinBieberVivo and see him kiss a girlie under the mistletoe with the click of a button. I wish she were me. Before we get started, I would like to take a moment of silence for the fall of God's strongest soldier. In the arms of the angel. Thank you. When looking back at this era, I don't look at it with a positive light. A key defining feature for this era was the rise in popularity for the YouTube channel Drama Alert. Everyone's third favorite gnome behind Nomeo and Juliet, Killer Keemstar got popular for his deep dive into YouTube drama. Some of his more iconic moments are his beef with FoozyTube, Leafy is here, and something that was on the radar of a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, the cancellation of Bashiverse. Now, at this time, the idea of cancellation wasn't existent, but I will get to that later. What was popular, however, was the action of sending mass death threats to anyone that you didn't like online. Channels such as Leafy is Here and Drama Alert had a very large and hateful demographic following them. Because of this, anytime that they would cover somebody, they would end up getting met with a wave of 13 to 18-year-olds sending them death threats and horrible, hateful things. The best way that I can describe the type of people that would do this is if you can remember the people unironically talk about what dank meme was their favorite, those guys. Now, me personally, I never consumed this type of content, but Filthy Frank, iDubbbz, Max Mofo, and anything for views started to grow in popularity as well. They were known for their dark and edgy style content, with each of them growing into their own sort of personal niches to this day. iDubbbz has since swapped to making very successful documentary content, with my personal favorite being The Ice Cream Man, based off of a fellow YouTuber, Dax Flame. Anything for Views and Max Mofo co-host the Cold Ones podcast, and I'm also pretty sure that they released like a Japanese beer or something recently. And most surprisingly, Filthy Frank, the creator of the Harlem Shake, has since completely retired from YouTube content creation as a whole. In late 2017, he announced he was retiring from the platform completely and has since released 4 full studio albums under the alias Joji. Speaking of iDubbbz, he created the ever popular Content Cop series, where he essentially did a deep dive smear campaign on other creators from the platform. Some of his more notable ones are based off of Jake Paul, Tana Mojo, and RiceGum. That said, YouTuber/streamer Stans has a running deep dive series going on his YouTube channel. Feel free to check it out. He does one on iDubbbz and he explains the story way better than I ever could. So there's that. The Edge, however, didn't just stick in live content. A couple gamers that weren't afraid of dropping a couple hard R's or two were the Misfits. Although they didn't form the group until 2018, a lot of the members that are in it gained their initial popularity during this time period, with Fitz and Swagger Souls being some of the more notable members. Surprisingly so, we saw the rise in animation style content. Although the algorithm favors more consistent long-form content that isn't conducive to an animation YouTube channel, the entertaining comedy and visuals made them stand out above the crowd compared to regular lifestyle content creators. To this day, Jade Animations and Odd Ones Out are still my day one upload watches. I'd also be remiss to not talk about talk shows, which were fucking, dude, they were fucking everywhere. Homepage, recommended, trending, celebrity mean tweets, carpool karaoke, anything on The Tonight Show. For some reason, YouTube was pushing out this type of content to everybody. Lastly, we saw the initial growth of the MrBeast channel, where he released his 24-hour-long video where he counted to 100,000. Fucking nuts. I needed to take a little intermission of filming because it was hot as fuck in here. I never discussed the adpocalypse because it's a whole other can of fucking worms. Essentially, all you need to know is that it's when YouTube started to be stricter with their demonetization policy. This began in 2017, so by 2018, we started to see the longer term effects of this action. The more raunchy type content creators either started to clean up their act or completely leave the platform as a whole. This started to leave an open spot for, como se dice, not the racist people. Say what you want about Vine, but at the peak of its time, it had all of us in a chokehold. January 17th, 2017, Vine was shut down by its parent company, Twitter. With this, a lot of people from the platform were lost and looking for a new place to settle. That's when everyone's favorite white red savior came in to save the day. Comedic style vlogs started to gain traction with the general audience. David Dobrik and his friends saw a huge rush of popularity for their part scripted, part realistic, but also kind of manufactured style content that they made. Some of his more popular vlogs showed him bringing celebrities on or doing pranks, or most notably giving away cars to all of his friends. Lifestyle content creators started to bask in the limelight once again. Certain people like Tana Mojo, Emma Chamberlain, and Cody Ko were some of the more popular people on the platform at the time. The goats themselves, Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning, started to truly come into their standing as one of the greats on the platform. Though, let's be real, they've always been great. In 2018, Tana Mojo, known for her commentary style content, felt like she deserved to be a featured creator at her fan events, but was historically shafted in this sense. Because of this, she decided that she will create an alternative event to VidCon, which is a convention centered completely around YouTube. With this, she created TanaCon. Any of you know, you would understand that it is one of the biggest clusterfucks historically that has ever happened in the YouTube sphere. Of course, she didn't intend on it being bad, but between the venue being scheduled way past capacity, fans being forced to stand outside for hours at a time, and a severe lack of refreshments and food, it was clear that the event was horribly planned. On a more positive note, in 2019, Smosh's parent company, Defy Media, fell apart. It seemed like after an over decade-long run as one of the biggest influential channels on the platform, that Smosh was finally gonna fail. That was until our Lord and Saviors themselves, Rhett and Link, came in to save the day. On February 22nd, Mythical Entertainment acquired Smosh, and since then, it has seen generally positive reviews after a rough couple of years. Horrible segue, I know, but it stands to be mentioned. In late 2017, famous actress Alyssa Milano posted on Twitter, "If all the women who've been sexually harassed and assaulted wrote Me Too as a status, we might give people a sense of the magnitude of the problem." Because of this, the Me Too movement was born. Let me just say this now. I don't consider myself woke by any means. I also don't consider being called woke a bad thing. I think being aware of the general political climate of the world at the current time is a good thing. I just don't personally devote a lot of time to it. That said, I won't be the first person or the last to say this. Fuck Nazis, fuck pedophiles, and fuck rapists. Speaking of Nazis, did you know if you say Elon Musk's name 3 times in the mirror that a Cybertruck drives right by your house? The more you know. The Me Too movement didn't just hit the mainstream. It also hit YouTube hard as well. Around the 2018-2019 timeframe, we saw a lot of very popular, very famous creators get taken down due to their actions. James Charles was infamously hit with these types of accusations after the limelight hit him when he was facing drama between a previous friend and fellow YouTuber Tati Westbrook. After some information came to light, he admitted to sexting and grooming a minor. Additionally, we saw Shane Dawson catching some flack for allegedly fucking his cat. "You go beat that pussy up, king." I'm sorry I said that. I say things when I'm nervous. We are finally here to present day. Let's get right into the news. As a lot of you know, 2020 completely flipped our world upside down with the amount of major events that occurred. President Trump lost the election to Democratic candidate Joe Biden. A global pandemic trapped all of us inside of our homes. And most importantly, me. I started my big boy job. During the quarantine caused by the virus, we saw huge growth in certain companies that no one would have ever expected. Amazon allowed people to shop without risking infection. Uber Eats and DoorDash allowed people to eat in the same fashion. And something that I want to talk about, social media platform TikTok started to grow because everyone was trapped at home with nothing to do. Similar to Instagram, YouTube, Vine, TikTok has its own kind of culture that follows it. Seeing the value in short form content that we saw previously in Vine and now in TikTok, YouTube decided to release the feature known as Shorts that we all know and love today. What's YouTube Shorts, you ask? Great question, voices in my head. It's like TikTok, except not as good. With TikTok, you have a meticulously crafted, well-curated algorithm. With Instagram Reels, you can get your daily feel of seeing somebody actually die in a car crash. But with YouTube Shorts, you get like none of that. I will give it to them. YouTube Shorts has come a long way since it was created. Even I sometimes find myself swiping on the app and then I remember what I'm on and then I close it and switch back to TikTok. Ignoring Shorts, but sticking with the same genre, we start to see a lot more of the TikToker to YouTube pipeline going on. This is something that I think is very similar to what we saw previously with Vine to YouTube, except like nowhere near as fast because the platform's like not dead. Also not worth a huge plot point, but we also see the same thing happening with streamers to YouTube. Twitch content creators kick streamers, they'll upload their VODs or funny moments to YouTube and they gain a following and also cater to that platform as well. Nowadays, we start to see a lot of the influence of the largest creator on the platform, Mr. Beast. Jamie Donaldson, the creator of the Mr. Beast channel, found a way to curate his videos to best cater to the algorithm. The content, the title, the thumbnail, even the way he opens his videos is designed to get the most watch time, to get the most views. And even I'll admit that I use some of the tactics that he has talked about previously. But to the extent that some people will copy him is like, it is mind-blowing to me. They will straight up rip his idea, his content. Even the thumbnail will be exactly the way that he has done it. I've even seen some people mimic the cadence of his voice to try to capture that same retention that he has in his videos. It's fucking gross. It's even more gross that it works. With the introduction of COPPA, an act designed to protect children online, we start to see more family-friendly content creators rise up, with commentary YouTubers, as always, finding their own way to grow in this new genre. Long-form content provides an easy in with the algorithm because of the large amount of watch time per averaged one view. Because of this, we start to see the large rise in video essay YouTubers. These type of in-depth and highly intellectual topics usually take months and months of research to create one video. Because of this, video essay YouTubers can only post a couple times a year unless they are backed by a large-scale research team. That said, even with these long periods between uploads, these YouTubers can see millions and millions of views consistently on what they release. Lamino is one of the more notable creators in the genre, with Summoning Salt being one of my personal favorites. When I started writing this video, I had the full intention of releasing it on February 14th. Why'd you want to post this on Valentine's Day, dude? Well, that's a great question, voices in my head. Here's why. February 14th, 2025 is the 20th anniversary of YouTube. There's definitely more things that I could have or maybe should have talked about, but I tried my best. You can yell at me in the comments for not mentioning your favorite YouTuber or trend. I don't really care. This is a long video. I didn't work on it as much as I'd like, hence the delayed release. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe. It really means a lot. I want to grow this channel as much as I can and you know, see what I can do with it. But I did enjoy it. I enjoyed researching this and putting all the information together. I hope it isn't as obvious to you as it is to me how bad I am at that. Please bear with me while I am building up my craft. Minecraft. Flint and steel.
I am placing blocks and shit cause I'm in fucking Minecraft. I am placing blocks and shit cause I'm in fucking Minecraft.